With Roofies being animated more and more each week, I thought it would be cool to talk about the strongest Roofies characters. Now, there have been multiple battles on the rooftop, but we're only going to be talking about the 5 Supernova in Luffy, Zoro, Kid, Killer, and Law, and we'll also be including Big Mom and Kaido because they were the antagonists on that rooftop. In this video, we'll be basing stuff off of how strong these characters are based off of feats that displayed on the rooftop and all throughout Wano, and we're going to be talking about a hypothetical if these guys are fully healthy. We'll be ranking them from weakest to strongest. If you guys enjoy regular anime content, then make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. With that out of the way, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's see who the strongest Roof Piece character is. Coming in at number 7, I have Killer. If I were to give him a commander ranking, it would probably be high 3rd to low 2nd. At first I thought Killer was overrated. I thought he was weak because of his Kamazo versus Zoro fight. We know Zoro ended that when he got his sword, or well, when he got a 3rd sword or blade in his mouth. Pause. But I was like, okay, well, Killer's weak. And he also had that conversation with Zoro, like, hey, if I had my Punishers, I would have beat you. And Zoro's like, the outcome would have been the same. I do think Zoro would have won. But at the same time, I didn't know how much Killer needed those Punishers, right? Because his Punishers, how they work is they rotate really fast and they have internal destruction capabilities, because when you fought Kaido, the first time when him and Zoro did that combined attack, they weren't able to puncture through Kaido's skin. It just left an imprint around his neck. But then when Killer spun his Punishers really rapidly, the sound, it penetrated through Kaido's skin eternally and made him take some damage internally. So I think Killer, he's displayed a little bit of how he can compete against people with tough durability. He also was able to eat Big Mom's attack when she hit him with lightning, and his demolition gust, Killer was able to knock those away. But that's all he really did on the rooftop. He wasn't necessarily, I mean, it was impressive, but because he's not like a captain, or like he's not as important of a character like Zoro, they didn't really give him much shine. And when they got down on the rooftop, his matchup was against Hawkins, where he beat him with relative ease by cutting off his hand. I do think Killer is somebody that we gotta appreciate a little bit more, but I don't think he's necessarily a first commander level threat just yet. For number 6, I have Kid. I have him low to mid first commander level. His rooftop feats weren't that impressive as well, but I do think that we give him a little bit of hate, at least the community does. There was that, but at the same time, some of it's deserved. Like, there was the scene where he like punched Kaido and like smashed him like with the metal, and then Kaido was like, oh, you need more mass, and then Kid was shook, and then Law didn't attack, and he was like, oh, I had to cover for your half-ass attack. Like I try to defend Kid so much, but then stuff like that happens and I can't really defend him. But something he did do that was impressive was he ended up taking a punch from Big Mom. He ate that punch and he ended up repelling her, and where Law used tact and knocked her off of Onigashima. So I do think that's impressive. But I have him on this levels because even though he's a Conqueror's user, he doesn't have Conqueror's coding. There's 2 characters above him that, well, there's 4 characters above him that can use Conqueror's coding, and I think, like Kaido says, hockey, it transcends all. I do think that having strong developers are important, but that's not all you need in order to conquer the sea. But one thing that did impress me was Kid using his Punk Gibson against Big Mom. Like, once they got down from the rooftop and Big Mom was looking, Kid legit, and I hope the anime does not screw this up, he caught Big Mom lacking, caught her from behind. Like, I hope they don't do the whole charge up thing, right? I just want him to run and like slam her into the ground like it was displayed in the manga. That was pretty cool in my opinion. He also has an awakening where he can assign magnetic properties to different people and different things, where he used Punk Clash, assigning the Big Mom, making her magnetized, and it allowed the beams to clash in on her. I think that was impressive. He also tanked Ikaku or Ikoku sovereignty that Big Mom did. It was a blast that she remember the blast that she tried to do against Luffy, and Luffy dodged it and punched a hole through Onigashima. Kid was able to tank that. He also has his the bull, I believe. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Cornadillo, where he ran into Big Mom and it also broke her wrist. Now, people want to say Law did that, but Law, he broke her rib cage. But people give Law the credit there because when Big Mom was talking about techniques, she was talking about Law's technique and not Kid, so that's why we assumed that she broke that Law broke her arm, but it was actually Kid. And the last thing he did that was impressive to me was damn Punk when he was using that laser beam to put her through Onigashima. That takes a lot of force for somebody like Big Mom and how durable she is and how strong she is to be able to force her through Onigashima and how big that place is. Kid's impressive. I do think he was a little bit underwhelming, but a lot of people think Kid is weak and not impressive, but he did some pretty darn good things against Big Mom and against Kaido. For number 5, I think he's interchangeable with number 4, and I'm thinking about doing an in-depth video comparing the two because I've seen this recently on TikTok where they've been going back and forth saying who's stronger. But for number 5, I have Zoro. If I were to give him a commander ranking, I'm putting him high first. We should call him the Supernova Slayer, right? He ended up destroying Apu, destroying Killer, destroying Hawkins. Zoro went crazy, and he recently, the anime version, they did it beautiful. When Zoro went, he cut the blast breath, he sidestepped it like with the sword, and then Law sent him up, and he had that attack where Big Mom told Yonko were in Kaido, who we consider to be probably, a lot of people think he's the strongest, or at least top 5 strongest in this series. That attack was so strong that Big Mom told Kaido to dodge. I think that's impressive. The Dragon Twister, Kaido, his durability is off the chains. They always reiterate how durable Kaido is. And Killer was able to break the scales. Law wasn't able to break the scales from the outside, but Zoro was able to penetrate Kaido's scales when he hit him with the Dragon Twister. He also blocked the combined Yonko attack, where that you could argue that's one of, if not the strongest attack in the series. He blocked it for a couple of seconds, allowing people to escape. And Ashura, when he coated himself in Conquerors, he ended up slicing Kaido and leaving a permanent scar on him, something that only Odin has ever done, and we consider Odin to be in the top tier of characters. So Zoro doing that on the rooftop was impressive. And then his fight with King, right? Even after he had 20 and 30 broken bones in his body, he kind of had like an anesthetic to a painkiller where the broken bones, they didn't go away, but Zoro couldn't feel it. And he fought against King, and the attacks, to be fair, until Zoro learned Conqueror's coding, I don't think King completely outmatched him, but you could tell that King had the upper hand. King was a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, when Zoro it was taking a lot out of him to keep up. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, that's because Zoro was weakened. No, the drug, it fixed him to the point where Zoro was healthy enough to fight King. It wasn't like, oh, well, the drug was holding him back. No, Zoro was capable. Zoro was fine, right? Zoro's my favorite character in anime, but I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses. King was just that strong of an opponent. Like, the Purgatory Onigiri, the Lion Strike, the Pound Phoenix, right? Different attacks. King, it would hit him, but it wouldn't really take damage. Like the Ultra Tiger Hunt, King overpowered Zoro in that instance. And then once he learned Conqueror's coding, the fight was, I'd say, relatively easier. I didn't think it would be that much easier, but you could tell Zoro had the upper hand in that fight. It was still great, but that's when, when Kaido, he always talks about Haki transcending all in the recent chapters. That makes me believe you have strong Haki, especially Conqueror's coding, Ryo. I think that you could probably be better than anybody else in the series. And I said all that, but I put Law over him, right? But I think it go either or. I have Law being high first, maybe even low top tier, but I think solely because his Devil Fruit is so freaking busted that I just had to put him on there. His role on the rooftop assisting people and putting them in positions to succeed was really impressive. Especially, when I first read it, I was concerned. I was like, when Law used Gamma Knife on Kaido, don't get me wrong, it was great. He used that, he used Injection Shot, he used Counter Shock on Big Mom, but like against Doflamingo, that was his strongest attack. So I was like, what the fluff is Law gonna do? But he ended up not disappointing when he used his Awakening Croom. It allows you to create a room on the inside where you can operate then. There's Shock Willy, make Big Mom bleed, broken ribs. There's Puncture Willy, when he sent his sword elongated, it went through Big Mom all the way to the mainland of Wano. And he also has Re-Room, where he ended up creating a room where Big Mom was quiet and was silent. And I mentioned this earlier about Kid when he broke Big Mom's wrist, but Big Mom was, somebody that she said she hasn't felt pain in such a long time, and Law, his techniques were dangerous. So I think Law's double, even though like Zoro has better haki, and I did say haki transcends all, but I don't think Zoro can sustain, like Zoro, he had that conversation talk about, oh, well, I don't know, Oda, he wielded Enma like it was nothing, like it was light as a feather, and Zoro's not at that stage yet. So I think once he can do that, then I'll probably put him over Law. For number 3, I have Luffy. I have him low top tier. He learned Ryo. We saw what he did with Red Rock. That was pretty impressive, making Kaido leak. Had that ninja like leaking. And compared to the others, I think that Luffy stands above all, especially Kaido. He looks at him in high regard, comparing him to Shanks, Rocks, Whitebeard, etc. Those are the only people that he thought could fight him, and Luffy and the others proved otherwise. He had a blast breath, right? He tanked it. He can tank lightning because he's made of rubber, but not fire. He ate that and he ended up pounding Kaido. That was pretty impressive as well. And he also landed when he learned how to use Conqueror's Coding. He learned how to use those, and he was going against Kaido, going crazy, hitting him without even touching him. Then there's the scene where he split the sky, where only those the very strongest have been displayed to do that. There's also his Snake Man and different Bound Man attacks that he used, especially using Conquerors and using Ryo along with them. Those were impressive as well. There's the Overkong gun, when it's his King Kong gun with Conquerors and Ryo. I want to shout out to Oda. It's really impressive how he can come up with these different attacks just by when Luffy uses gears, comes up with different names. Pretty impressive. But then there's also Gear 5. Here's different, he has different attacks because he kind of is like a Toon. He can run on air, turn to a giant. He can assign rubber properties to other people. He bounced like Kaido's blast breath off of the surface, but like it was rubber. Luffy displayed a lot of different techniques with Gear 5. And then there's the believe it's the big fist that he used to recently knock Kaido down to the mainland. I don't want to say knocked him out, but I think I don't think he's done, but Kaido is almost done, because he's claimed his flame cloud stopped using. There was a flashback as well, but he ended up, I believe it's called I can't even pronounce the badge range gun, where he had that huge fist and he slammed it down on Kaido. So the only reason why I'm not going to put, even though I think Gear 5 is busted, I'm not going to put Luffy up there because we don't know how long he can maintain that gear. I think once he trains more with it, against Shanks, against Blackbeard, against Akainu, then that's when Luffy will probably be a top 3, maybe even the top strongest character in this series. Number 2, I have Big Mom. I have her mid top tier. Big Mom, she fought against Kaido for days. She has Conqueror's Coding, which I'm surprised she didn't use that against Kid. I think that was a little bit lazy, but it is what it is. She took out 4 out of 5 of the supernovas with lightning. The only reason why she didn't do Luffy is because, well, but he's made of rubber, right? It's kind of hard to be something that naturally counters that. Her body is so durable. Big Mom is a tank, right? That's a thick woman, right? she's just a tank. Her durability is not on the level of Kaido, but she still is impressive. Where on Whole Cake Island, I believe the only way they could bring down her durability is by leaving her in a weakened state. And in order to heal herself, she can take years off her lifespan. That's impressive. Well, she takes other souls and makes herself bigger, and she just displayed and a lot of people get mad at Big Mom and how she lost a kid in Law, but I don't think that's a detriment on her. Number one, I do think that we put the admirals and even especially the Yonkos on this pedestal that nobody should be able to reach. But I mean, I think that's the community doing that. That Big Mom, she displayed that she could handle these two. She was putting them through the ringer. It's just that the Kid and Law, they surpassed their limits and they showcase that they're the new emperors of the sea. So it's nothing that Big Mom did wrong. It's just that Kid and Law exceeded our expectations. And then lastly, we have Kaido, high top tier. I personally think Kaido's the strongest character alive right now. If we were to take the past people in consideration, Kaido's probably top 5. he one-shot Luffy at the beginning of the arc. Compared, like when you look at what he went against Katakuri and how strong Katakuri was, you would have thought that Luffy would have been able to survive against Kaido, and he didn't. His durability is off the charts. Like, it's really impressive. Like, he was so willing to tank, like he tanked the attack, a Kongun, a Slam Gibson, a Purgatory Onigiri. I don't remember Killer's attack, but he tanked all of those without like a second thought. He also had the Ragnarok whenever he got serious, that Kaido, he knocked out Luffy in his hybrid form and with his drunken form. Like, Kaido, he has future sight, and Luffy was saying as Kaido got more drunk, the stronger he got. And there's also the Flame Bagua, when him and Luffy are in that final clash. Kaido, he turned into like this super hot dragon. Kaido's just really impressive, man. But these characters are really impressive, especially the 5 Supernova. I mean, Kaido and Big Mom, they've been doing this for a long time, so it doesn't surprise me how strong they are. But these are the characters who are going to shift the tide of, 1, this battle, and 2, of the One Piece world in general. I can't wait to see their progress after this arc and what power-ups they'll get then. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.